Elle's secret hidden talent?
A secret hidden talent? 3, 2, 1. What did you put?
Breaking a banana in half.
Okay, so What do you mean by that?
Hi. Sometimes your biggest op is the person you're married to. Thanks to comedian Akilah Hughes, we now have some idea of why Key and Peele, Lock and Banana, possibly had ended sooner than we assumed. Now, everybody raise your hand if you knew that Keegan-Michael Key had a wife. Now put your hand down, because no, you didn't. No, you didn't. You did not know she looked like this, and you did not know he was married, okay? She did this sort of jazzy retelling of events where she had collaborated with Michael in the past and also his wife. So fun.
Locke is gonna use his name to carry you to the forefront of pop culture.
I'm sorry, I couldn't sit through that Charlie Brown mess. I love you, girl. You're very talented, you're gorgeous, but holy God, I could not sit through that. Let me just summarize it for you. She leaves her job to work with this collaborator and his wife. She describes that working on the show should have been a pinnacle of her career, but instead it kind of ended in failure, and it fell through because behind the scenes, as much as they were a fan of him, they were not a fan of his wife and all of her notes and her suggestions. She threatened to sue. And obviously the showrunners were like, hey, let's get rid of her, you guys. I'm sorry. And of course, she took her husband with her. The project had to be reworked, but by the time the project was reworked, a writer's strike took place, and so the project just fell into ashes. That was probably her first interaction with who we all presume to be Elle Key, Keegan-Michael Key's wife, because again, it continues. There is a Dumois blind item that describes an interaction she had at a restaurant.
Whenever I see him, I can only think of his wife. She has a bunch of food allergies. And she had an allergy attack about a eucalyptus plant by her table at Tribeca Grill, acting like she couldn't breathe. The plant was fake and I showed it to her. She just said, oh, and acted totally normal after that. He was very nice about it and apologized after. He left a good tip. Bizarre, though.
Akilah also continues as well to describe that she had even been warned about Elle, that she had gotten a call from, allegedly, Jordan Peele's wife, Chelsea Peretti, citing that, and I quote, "There's no accounting for how much money she's cost that black man." I don't know about you, but if you look at this woman's face, she would say some shit like that.
That she once poured alcohol on her birthday cake and this person is sober.
Her actions really do make you wonder, why are you married to someone with this level of star power when you very clearly and obviously cannot handle it? She has a show business background. She tried to be an actress, and when that didn't exactly pan out for her, she kind of took a step back to becoming a producer. Along with that, being married to someone of Keegan's status, I can imagine there's a level of insecurity that she feels. I still think that he's a successful comedian. I think he's been regularly booked and busy, and I know there's some people who say, hey, he should be as big as Jordan by now. She had also been barring him possibly from collaborating with Jordan. They also say that Get Out might be a documentary about his life, that the Megan sketch might exactly be about her. You guys, allegedly.
I asked my agent, I'm like, should I fly to London? Should I warn him about what I've heard? And she said, that's a grown-ass man. He chose to marry that person. Don't do it.
While the actions of Elle Key are alleged, I do have to say, with Akaash Singh and his wife Jasleen, there is no short of documentation of her embarrassing this man.
Have you seen his Instagram thumbnail? You know I've shown that to multiple dudes.
I've also shown it to multiple people. Nash just puts his dick out on the table.
You know when you get on the subway and there's like a homeless person sleeping and like everyone has to get out of that car?
Yeah.
That's what my husband's smell like. I'm actively trying to have an orgy because this couple is so fucking good looking.
This is like a humiliation speed run for this woman. Dear God, please get her away from a camera. I cannot get over the clip of her speaking to her friend about her husband and about wanting to boink her husband. First of all, the patience, because personally that would not be my friend sitting across from me. But then also the audacity, girl, like hello. Jasleen is, famously the housewife of Akaash. And Akaash, he's a stand-up comedian. One of his biggest promotion belts has been being a part of Flagrant, which is the podcast he has with Andrew Schultz and those other two NPCs. He's got a very seasoned career on his own. And for her, she's at best a stay-at-home housewife. That can be a little boring. That she deserves to have a creative outlet. Does it have to be this podcast? It was almost like she was giving the fans more ammunition, and they were not too kind to Akaash, and it became very unbearable for him to show up on the podcast. So eventually he took a month break off, and after a month that turned into, I am leaving this podcast and I am not going to be on the podcast to explain myself or give a final episode. There are some people who say the fans deserve a final episode or a send off or a goodbye. No, I have to call people out on this. The fans have been the most critical of him. I would not face the same people who were critical of my relationship to be the same people who are sympathetic that I'm also leaving the podcast because of the strain of my relationship. Well, we've only just been making fun of you. Why don't you want to come back and tell us that you're leaving? I don't think there was another decision for him. Like, to come back on the podcast, he'd be such a distraction. I believe he had an agreement with his wife, and this is my personal speculation. If I can't have my creative outlet, then you can't have your creative outlet. And if this is going to be the betterment for our relationship, then so be it. Ultimately, it really does suck because, the podcast wasn't just a creative outlet for him. It was a financial means for him. It was a way to promote his shows. So for me, it's like, I know it sucks. It's just bad overall. And I know there are people who are going to say, well, he shouldn't have left. I still believe he should have left the podcast. I think it was just going to be too distracting for him. It probably ruined his mental health. And in a field where you have to make people laugh, I get it, but it sucks. So what do you guys think? Personally, for me, I think that just because your relationship is somewhat public or you are in a relationship with a public figure, there doesn't need to be two main characters. Can you imagine rolling over every night and then the biggest op is like right there? It's like, oh.